Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and here we are with a little bit of another Guilty Gear Strive mini guide, as it were. And today I'm going to be talking to you about Leo and his back turn stance, as it's a very core aspect of the character, and he can do a lot of stuff from it. And if you don't know how it works, then you might get chewed up by it. So the first thing to mention about the back turn stance, unlike many other stances in many other fighting games, because the concept of a stance is certainly not rare, but unlike many other stances, you just can't enter it normally. I can't go like down, down, punch, and I'm in it, that's all there is to it, right? You have to enter it by one of three specific ways. The first of which, and this is an easy one here, just throw the enemy. Doesn't matter if it's a forward throw, back throw, whatever. As long as you throw the enemy, you automatically enter the back turn stance, the Brynhildr stance. Besides just throwing the enemy, we also have this move here, quarter circle back and slash. This guy right here. Now, by itself, it doesn't enter the stance. However, if you were to hold the slash button when you do it, then you will enter the stance afterwards. So you don't always have to enter the stance. So you just tap it, nothing. If you hold it, then you get the stance. So that is the second way to get into the stance. The third and final way is quarter circle forward, heavy slash. This guy right here. And this move is ridiculous, by the way. This move will also automatically put you into the stance. And this is going to be perhaps the most primary way outside of the throw. You're going to see it as people are going to be spamming this move. And why would they spam this move? Well, one, it's an automatic cross-up. You have to block this backwards, as it were, just like, you know, a cross-up in any funny game like a jump or something, right? So it'll always switch sides, and you got to block backwards. And also, this move is plus on block. So on top of the cross-up, they have to block it the other way. If you try to challenge it after block, you're going to lose because it is Leo's turn, not your turn. So yeah, very powerful, and once again, automatically puts you in the back turn stance. So now we know how to enter the stance. That's all well and good. What does it give us exactly besides the fact we're just facing backwards? Well, one, it changes all your normals. So you have a completely different set of normals now. Your kick turns into this guy here, which is a low, by the way, has to be blocked low. Your slash turns into this guy. Your punch turns into this guy, and your heavy slash turns into this guy. And this guy, by the way, is an overhead, so has to be stand blocked. And now also, unlike the changes that have happened to Guilty Gear Strive, you are allowed to chain all these guys together. So your kick can go into slash and the punch, all that kind of stuff. And also conversely, punch can go into slash and do heavy slash. So those changes don't apply to this stance. You're freely able to chain into, Gatling into, magic series into, whatever you want to call it, into all of your attacks. So we have all these new normals, and just the fact, you know, the kick is a low by itself, and the heavy slash is an overhead by itself, you know, well, there's some mix-up potential, right? But it also changes your dash. So Leo can't run normally at all, and it doesn't change the back turn stance at all. He just dashes, right? That's fine. But when he dashes, he can go through the enemy. They're intangible, as it were. So you can be like here, and then dash inside here, and effectively it opens up a whole new world of left-right mix-up on top of the low overhead stuff you have. This stance absolutely lends itself towards cracking the enemy open with all these options, and the options hardly stop there. Because while you're in a stance, not only do you get new normals, you get new special moves. You get quarter circle back and heavy slash, which is this massive wind-up move right here. And the other big benefit of the move is it is what we call a guard crush. So effectively, as you can see, they're blown back. It is still your turn. You are still plus on block. Now, the one thing to note here is if you just tap the button here, you'll be in your regular stance. If you hold it, you will remain in your back turn stance. So whatever works easier for you. And from that point, it's still your turn if it gets blocked. And if it gets hit, well then fantastic. And now to keep the legacy of the mix going here. So we got low, we got overhead, we got plus on block, we got side switching left-right stuff. He also has a command grab. So while you're in your back turn stance, quarter circle backwards and kick, you'll rush forward and do the Batista bomb on the enemy. Now, you normally can't throw people in this stance. Forward or backwards is dust, which is the throw, is actually reserved for something else we're going to talk about here in a second. But this will allow you to throw people. There's a little bit of a startup. So the idea is once they're paralyzed in fear of guessing high, low, left, right, all that kind of stuff, you sneak this in and go for it. And naturally, it is a Roman cancelable move, as moves tend to be. So you can do it here and just go for your fancy combos. So you get your big damage off your Batista bombs. In the stance as well, he gets a unique super that he can only do in the stance. That's half circle back forward and slash. And he'll go into gorilla mode and just toss out a big projectile that goes full screen. To note very quickly here, it does a lot of damage if it hits raw. And if it hits raw against the wall, or just against the wall in general, could be in the combo as well, it'll wall break in and of itself. And that's some pretty big, stupid damage. Now, the final thing to mention here in the stance is your dust button. Becomes this. This is your shield, your royal shield, and it is a multifaceted parry. In that, if say you're up against a projectile, you'll just bounce projectiles back at people, so you don't gotta worry about that. And if you're up against a more traditional attack, it'll just straight blow them away, right? So yeah, you get a lot of value out of this. Now, you can't block traditionally. So if the enemy just attacks you normally, you're going to get hit. There's no traditional blocking in this stance. This parry is your block, right? So you have to have a much more active defense, as it were, but there you go. Now, to note here, as we just went over, there's a lot of unique aspects of the stance, but it doesn't take away stuff you could do normally besides blocking. So you are still allowed to do your special moves from it, although, say if you go for his base projectile or whatever special move, it will remove you from the stance. But still, just be aware it's all available to you. He has a flash kick style invincible reversal, hold down, then hit up slash or heavy slash, and that is still available to you as well. So even though you don't have a lot of defensive measures, you can do it. Also, keep in mind here, you can hold down forward to keep moving forward, and then hit up and heavy slash, and you'll get it on command. So it's a way to charge moving forward and still get it. So that could be a handy little trick. And finally, I want to talk about stance canceling. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much, but trust me, you'll learn something here. So stance canceling by itself, just hit down, down, and you're out of the stance. Simple enough, right? But here's some stuff about it. So any normal you do from this stance can be stance canceled, and fair enough. But some of the moves like your heavy slash, that's punishable on block, right? So either you think, well, okay, I'm just going to special cancel or whatever, but there's something else you can do. Yeah, you could special cancel and get out of there, but you can keep the initiative. So if you're in stance and you do your heavy slash and then stance cancel, okay, what was once punishable, we got out of it, but it's more than just being safe. You're super plus on block, actually. So things like your back turn heavy slash, when you stance cancel them, it becomes your turn instead of being punishable. So it allows you to basically keep the offense going and going and going. And more than that as well. So if we're just in back turn stance here, where you go for like a basic combo, all right, all well and good, to be sure, right? That's a decent little chunk of damage. But if we stance cancel that final hit here of the heavy slash, we can actually get a whole new combo route. So just an idea right there. I'm sure it's not optimal, but it just gives you an idea. If you immediately stance cancel your combo, you can get just a little bit more than you might be able to otherwise. So that's just a little bit of a hint at what's possible with Leo, and obviously there's so much more to the character. That's just one stance. There's everything else, right? But as the Guilty Gear Strive beta concludes, I hope you like these little beta guides I've been doing just to give you a little bit of a taste of what's possible in the game. When the launch comes, the retail build comes, there'll be a lot more on the channel about, well, just about everything you can think of. So look forward to that. And otherwise, my friends, that is the end of this guide. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.